You can just go on to mute. If you can.
What happened? He's logged out. Please mute yourselves.
Hello. I just disappeared there for a moment.
Yeah. No worries.
So namaste, everybody, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk to you today. And I want to talk to you about mindfulness and how we can use mindfulness practice to help control anxieties and stress and the challenges we're going through in life. And I'll talk a little bit about what mindfulness is and how we can use 3 different types of mindfulness practices. When we finish up, I want to finish up on a guided visualization practice where we'll go for a walk in the forest. It's a great practice to do to get us out of our heads and so we can change our perspective. But to begin with, I want to start with the gratitude practice. So gratitude is one of the best practices that we can do, and most simple of practice. You know, meditation, we have to take time and sit down, and we have to, fight with lots of thoughts in our head, and yoga and pranayama, they're all great things to do, but they're a skill and they take time to learn. But gratitude is such a simple thing. All you need to do, just stop and think, what am I grateful for? When we do that, when we just stop and think of something we're grateful for, we start to release dopamine into our brain. So dopamine is our feel-good drug. So because we're feeling good, we want more of it. So we become positive. So if you're going through a negative time, if you're going through a challenging time and there's lots of negative thoughts in your head, the easiest way to turn them from the negative into a positive is just by thinking of the things you're grateful for, counting your blessings. It's so easy for us to focus on the negative because this is the way our brains are wired for survival. So negativity comes natural to us. Positivity, we have to try a little bit harder. So gratitude is a simple practice to make us feel good about what's happening in our lives, to remember the blessings in our life, so we become more positive, more optimistic. It's a simple thing to do. And we're going to just do a quick practice now. What we're going to do is just sit quietly. We'll close our eyes and we'll think of one thing that we're grateful for at this moment. So right at this moment, what one thing are you grateful for? So it could be you're grateful for yourself, for something that you've done or you're doing at the moment. It could be for a person in your life. It could be for an event that's going on. It could be a belonging you have. It doesn't matter what it is, but we're going to think of one thing we're grateful for and just sit and keep that in our mind and just keep thinking about that one thing we're grateful for. By doing that, dopamines will be released. You'll feel good about yourself. Also, serotonin will be released, which helps us to control those strong emotions and anxiety and stress. So again, it's a great practice to do whenever you're starting to feel a little anxious or stressed out. So just sit comfortable in your chair and lightly close your eyes.
Yashi ji, 2 minutes. I'll just translate the same in Hindi. I'll just inform them what they need to do. Okay. So हम सब अभी just for हम 1-2 मिनट के लिए शांत बैठेंगे, और हम जब शांत बैठेंगे तो हम यही सोचेंगे, इट इज ग्रेटिट्यूड, फीलिंग ग्रेटिट्यूड. हम किस for what reason हम ये gratitude we want to, I mean, feel gratitude. So we'll just sit quietly, and whatever we are thankful for, it could be for the day, it could be for our health, it could be for our relative, जिनके लिए भी है, हम अभी थोड़ी देर बैठ के we will follow यशी जी हमें जो भी बोलेंगे for gratitude practice, ये हम अभी करेंगे. Over to you, यशी जी.
Okay, so just sit comfortable in your chair, lightly close your eyes, and think of one thing you're grateful for at the moment. And just sit there thinking about this one thing. And while you're thinking about this one thing you're grateful for, just ask yourself this question. What is it about this one thing that makes me feel gratitude? And now just very slowly start to open your eyes. And you see how simple that is. It's just a minute or 2 minutes. You can do anywhere, at home, at work, wherever you are. You can just stop, particularly if you're feeling negative and anxious, getting a little bit overwhelmed, then just stop a moment, close your eyes, think of something you're grateful for, something that you count your blessings for. Change that negative into a positive. The more that we do that, the more that we're strengthening our mental and our emotional health. And of course, with the pandemic still going on, we really need a good emotional, psychological, and physical health these days. We need to look after our well-being. That is one simple way that you can use every day, a few times a day, to start to change your negative into a positive. So what is mindfulness? So mindfulness simply means here now. What is happening now, right at this moment? Why do we need mindfulness? We need mindfulness because scientists tell us that 47% of our day is spent in the subconscious mind, meaning we're just on autopilot. We're sleepwalking through life. We're not consciously making a decision. So 53% of our day, the waking hours in our day, we are conscious and we're thinking and making decisions, which is great. But 47% of our day, we are not in control. We are just blindly being led by past patterns of behavior. We're being led by the subconscious mind. So we need to stretch that. Imagine that, if you could stretch the 53% to 60, 70, 75%, just how much more relaxed you'll be, how much more in control of your life you will be. And that's what mindfulness does for us. It brings us back into the present moment, and it helps us to see, what am I thinking right now at this moment? What are my emotions? What emotion am I feeling now at this moment? What is my body telling me? Are there any stress, any strains, any tension I'm holding in my body? And it also shows us what is happening in our immediate environment. When we're in the present moment, we can make good, conscious, realistic decisions. When we're being led by subconscious mind, that 43%, we can't make good decisions because we're not consciously thinking. So it means that 43% of your day is like you're sleepwalking. You're like this, going through life. You don't know what you're doing. And that is when we keep making the same mistakes, keep doing the same patterns of behavior that we know are not working for us. But because we're being driven by the subconscious mind, we constantly keep doing that. So mindfulness are any practices that brings us back to the present moment. Now, a lot of the fear, a lot of the stress and the anxiety that we feel in life is because we allow our imaginations to go shooting off to the future. We all do this. We have a thought come into our head. We don't check. Is it a helpful thought? Is it an unhelpful thought? Is it, negative? Is it positive? It comes into our head. We chase after it. And it's then that we start building this story. So, when COVID first came along, none of us knew,
Okay.
2 years ago, none of us knew what COVID really meant. We were locked down. And of course, then we started to think, oh, I'm going to get the virus and then I'll die, or I'm going to be in hospital, I'll be in ICU and I'll give it to my family. We start to build stories, and we do this all of the time. A thought happens and we build a story around it. When that happens, when we've built that story, our mind cannot tell the difference between what is a fact and what is fantasy. If you've built that story, your mind is going to start believing it. And that's where fear, anxiety, and stress come into play, because we're starting to believe a story that only exists up here in our head. It's that, oh, this is going to happen or this won't happen. So it's at those times when we catch ourselves telling a story, making ourselves anxious and fearful, that we need to do mindfulness practices to just gently bring ourselves back here, where we can think rationally, we can be thinking more realistically, we can make good choices. And the same goes for the past. We keep, and we all do this, we keep reliving over and over and over again in our head. So maybe earlier on, somebody said something to you and it upset you, and all day long you keep thinking about it. It keeps coming back and back and back. The past is gone. We can only learn from the past and move forward. We can't go back and change the past. So when we have this repetitive thinking, when our mind keeps going over and over again the same things, again, we need to bring ourselves back into the present moment. The future is not here, so we can't deal with it. The past has been and gone, so we can't do anything about it. So it only leaves us one part of our day where we can actually do something about it. And that is now, right now. Whatever is happening now, I can do something about that. And that is what mindfulness does. It brings us back into now, back into reality, back in where we can make good, conscious choices about what is happening. So when we come back into the present moment, when we use mindfulness, it doesn't mean that everything is going to be great. It doesn't mean, it's going to be sunny and blue sky and the birds are singing and everything is wonderful. I mean, it would be great, but life isn't like that. So sometimes when we come back into the present moment, it's a difficult time. It's a difficult situation, but at least we're here with that situation now, which means we can think clearly. We can make good, conscious choices when we've brought ourselves back.
Yeah.
So how do we bring ourselves back into the present moment? So I'm going to just teach you 3 simple practices that we can use. So one is the breath, one the body, and one will be one of our 5 senses. So why do we use those? We use those because they are always in the present moment. When you're focusing on the breath going in and out, we're in the present moment. We can only breathe now. We can't breathe for tomorrow or yesterday. So by focusing on your breath, you're brought back into the present moment. Our bodies are always in the present moment. So again, by bringing our awareness to our body, we are bringing ourselves back to the present moment. And the same with our 5 senses. We can only see, smell, taste, hear, and touch what is happening now. I can't touch anything or hear anything from yesterday. So the breath, the body, and our 5 senses are our anchors to come back into the present moment. So if you imagine a ship on the ocean and it has an anchor, so it's anchored down, but waves come and these waves move the ship away, but because it's got an anchor, it's gently brought back. So that ship is your mind, and the anchors are the mindfulness practices. So when the waves come, the waves are your thoughts, your emotions, and your imagination and the stories you're telling yourself, and it takes your mind off in a wrong direction. But because you've got the mindfulness practices, they bring you back to the present moment. So that's why these, the body, the breath, and the senses are our anchors back into reality, back into what is happening now, not what may happen in the future or what did happen in the past, what is actually happening right at this moment. So there are so many breathing exercises that we can do that are going to bring us back into the present moment. The one that I want to teach you today is a great one for energizing yourself. Maybe you're starting to feel a little bit tired during the day. It'll bring in energy because it'll bring in oxygen into the body. It will calm you down and it will give you focus. I'll explain how this works once we've done the practice. But this practice is called rhythmic breathing. So we're going to get a rhythm going. So we're first of all, and we're going to breathe in and out through the nose. And as we're breathing in, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back out 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get a rhythm going. 1, 2, 3, 4 in and 1, 2, 3, 4 out. And then after a while, I'll say 5 and we'll breathe 5 in and 5 out and get a nice rhythm going there. And then we'll breathe 6 in and 6 out and get a nice rhythm going there. So just keep getting a rhythm going. At the end, I'll explain exactly what this is doing. But if you want to just explain this in Hindi.
Madhumita, in Hindi, please explain this.
Okay, so what अभी उन्होंने क्या बोला है कि हम लोग सब जो है वो आपका एग्जाम्पल दिया शिप का एंकर का, वो आप समझ गए होंगे. पर अभी हम जो करेंगे वो एक प्रैक्टिस है, वो ब्रीदिंग इन ब्रीदिंग आउट का प्रैक्टिस, बट काउंट के साथ करेंगे. पहले 5 इन 5 आउट, 4 इन 4 आउट, फिर धीरे से 5 इन, काउंट ऑफ 5, 1 2.
Lama ji, he will guide us and we will
guide us. तो हम वो वैसे वो गिनती के साथ वो करेंगे. एंड बाकी जो उन्होंने बताया कि हम ये बार जब हम एंग्शियस हो जाते हैं, जब हमें बहुत कुछ खराब थॉट्स आने लगते हैं, ये आप करेंगे तो इंस्टेंटली आप काम डाउन हो जाएंगे.
Okay, so sit nice and comfortable in your chairs again. Yeah. If you can, put your feet flat on the ground and a little bit apart, just keeps you nice and stable. And then again, just lightly close your eyes. And I'm not going to count for you because it makes it complicated. I'll leave it to you. But start by counting in 1, 2, 3, 4, then counting out 1, 2, 3, 4, and keep doing that. 4 in and 4 out, and keep breathing like that and get a nice rhythm going there. So now count 5 in and 5 out and get a rhythm going. And now count 6 in and 6 out. And now just breathe normally and slowly start to open your eyes. So usually we would do this practice for 3 to 5 minutes. This is just to show you the practice, give you a little taster of it. But if you're going to do this practice, do it for 3 to 5 minutes. So what we're doing here is, because we're focusing on and counting the breath, we're bringing ourselves back into the present moment. When we're breathing in with a rhythm, then we're starting to activate the left-hand hippocampus, which means it's giving us focus. So maybe we've been totally distracted all day. By doing this practice, it gives focus. And when we breathe out to the rhythm, it starts to activate our parasympathetic part of our central nervous system, which means we calm down. So it's a great practice to do if you're becoming stressed out, anxious, you're getting a little bit worried, you've got lots of challenges, maybe you've lost your focus. All of these can be dealt with, or your mind has gone off to the future or the past. All of these can be looked at by just doing this simple rhythmic practice, just getting a nice rhythm going there. So, and again, it's a practice that you can do anywhere, wherever you are. You don't have to go anywhere special. So try to do this rhythmic breathing practice. Give it a try. You know, with mindfulness, it's experiential. It means you have to do it. It's no good just sitting here listening to me talking. You have to actually go and do the practice. And once you start using these practices, you'll see how they work. And once you know how they work, they'll motivate you to keep using the practice. So next time you're starting to feel a little stressed or a little anxious or overwhelmed, then try this practice. Bring yourself back into the present moment. Use the breath as your anchor. So now let's do a practice for the body. So this is a real simple practice to do. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring our awareness to where we can feel our clothes touching our skin. And then we'll bring our awareness to where we can feel the chair and our body making contact. So where the chair is supporting your body. And then finally, we'll bring our awareness to our feet and just notice, are there any sensations, any feelings in your feet? So this is about trying to keep your mind focused on these three things. If your mind wanders off, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. Just gently bring it back. But try to, as much as you can, keep your focus on that. Keep your focus on the body. The body's here in the present moment. So by bringing your focus to your body, you're bringing yourself back. So all of the benefits that you had from doing the breathing practice, again, you'll have here. By just watching your body, you calm yourself down. You see, when we're stressed and anxious, we get all caught up in negative thinking. So by now just looking at the body and becoming aware of the body, you've pulled yourself away from that negative thinking. So these are simple practices that you can use anywhere at any time. So again, sit nice and comfortable with your feet flat on the ground, and I'll guide you through this. So lightly close your eyes and focus your awareness on where you can feel your clothes touching your skin. And now bring your awareness to where you can feel the chair supporting your body. So where the body and the chair make contact. Place your awareness there for a moment. And then now move your awareness down to your feet. And just notice, can you feel any sensations, any feelings in your feet? Just focus your awareness on your feet. Okay, so now just slowly start to open your eyes. So that really is a simple practice. By bringing our awareness back to the body, it brings us back into the present moment where we can make good, conscious, realistic choices. The last one, any of your five senses. So you can use your eyes, you can focus on a taste inside your mouth, you can smell, you can use touch. What we're going to use is sound, but any of the five senses is a great one to bring your focus back. If you're, easily distracted and you want to try and focus, maybe you're trying to read something and your mind keeps wandering off. And so by using any of your five senses, it brings back your focus. And of course, again, you can do this practice wherever you are. You can look around your room or smell or touch things in the room. What we're going to do here is we're going to listen for one sound that we can hear that is close to us. And then we'll listen for one sound that is the furthest sound away that we can hear. So that's where we really have to concentrate to what is the furthest sound you can hear. When we do this practice, we will shut our eyes again. Our eyes are our most powerful sense. So when your eyes are open, then we're easily distracted. You're listening for a sound and then something move over here and instantly you're like, oh, what was that? So we close our eyes so we can focus better on the sounds. So now just lightly close your eyes and just listen for a sound that is close to you. Maybe in your room or just outside your room. And just focus on that sound a moment. And now focus on the sound that's the furthest sound away that you can hear. Okay, so now just slowly start to open your eyes. So these are your anchors. The breath, the body, your five senses are your anchors to keep your mind in the present moment. And if the waves take it off, these anchors will bring it back into the present moment. When you're in the present moment and consciously thinking, you will have less stress, less anxiety, less fear, less worries. You'll be more focused, more calm, more relaxed. It's great for your overall well-being. So all of that comes about just by using mindfulness practices to keep bringing ourselves back into the present moment. Now, we cannot be 24/7 mindful. We have the wonderful ability of planning and we have the ability of memories. So it means that our mind cannot, doesn't matter how many years you've been doing mindfulness, you can't stay 24/7. So what we're trying to do is to stretch that 53% into 65, 70, 75% of our day that we're conscious of what is happening and making good choices. Remember, a lot of your emotional turmoil, a lot of your stress and anxiety is caused by yourself, by your thinking, by your allowing your mind to go off into the future and tell stories, or going back to the past and reliving. So a lot of that is in our hands. And the more that we can use mindfulness practices, the more that we can be calm and we can be present and we can make good choices, and well-being will be much better, and our whole day will be much better, and you'll be so much more happier because you're in control. We're not happy because, you know, half of our day we don't even know what we're doing. So, and then it's only after we've done it and we think, oh, I wasn't going to do that again, but now I've already done it. So mindfulness really does help in those situations. So I just want to finish off now by doing a guided imagery, a visualization practice. So when we, you know, maybe we're getting overwhelmed, maybe we're stuck in the house again, you know, maybe there's curfews going on and we can't go out and we feel trapped, and we're working from home, or we're spending a lot of time at home now because it's not safe to go out. And we get a little bit claustrophobic. We get a little bit, you know, I want to get out of here. But of course, physically, we can't. But mentally, nobody can stop us. So you can always go on a mental vacation, a mental holiday. It's a cheap holiday as well. It doesn't cost anything to go off to your favorite place. So today what we're going to do, we're going to have a walk in the forest. And when we're in the forest, we're going to use all of our senses to really engage with that forest, to calm ourselves down, relax ourselves. So when we step back out of the forest and back into our room, we're going to be calm, we're going to be peaceful, we're going to be relaxed, and we're going to feel that we have been somewhere. Now, this is a true fact, yeah, that if you go into a forest or you go into a beautiful, like nature, it lights up different parts of your brain. If you just sit and really imagine that you're there and you're using your senses to be there, similar places of your brain is lit up. So whether you physically go there or not, or you'll just mentally go there, it will activate the same parts of your brain. That's an amazing thing. I mean, of course, physically it's not so good because you're not getting the exercise, but mentally and emotionally, it is a great thing to be able to just go off. So I would suggest to you that today we'll do a forest, but when you do this practice on your own, pick a place that you've been to before that was beautiful and it was calm and it was peaceful and you felt safe there, because it's so much easier because you've been there. You'll be able to visualize it a lot easier. So when you do the practice, pick your own place. But for today, let's go for a walk in the forest. So just sit nice and comfortable again in your chair, put your feet flat on the ground and lightly close your eyes. And I want you to bring a picture of a forest into your mind. So this may be a forest you've been to before. You may have seen it in a film or in a magazine. Whatever it is, just picture that forest in your mind. And now imagine yourself standing in the middle of that forest. So let's go for a walk. Start slowly walking through your forest. And as you're walking, just look around you. Look at the trees and the leaves. Look at the wild flowers. Look at the ground and look up through the tops of the trees at the sky. So keep slowly walking through your forest and having a good look around you. And as you slowly keep walking, I want you to now listen for any sounds that you can hear. So maybe you can hear the birds singing, or maybe the wind just whistling through the trees. So keep walking and see what sounds you can hear in your forest. So slowly keep walking through the forest. And this time, take some deep breaths in through the nose and just notice what you can smell. Maybe the wildflowers, maybe the leaves or the trees. What can you smell in your forest? Now I want you to pick a tree and just walk over to the tree and sit down on the ground and lean your back against the tree for support. And then touch your hands on the ground. What can you feel? And as you're sitting there on the ground, I want you to focus your awareness on your breath. And as you breathe in, I want you to keep mentally reciting the word calm. And as you breathe out, keep mentally reciting the word relax. So breathing in calm and breathing out relax. And keep doing that for a moment. And as you're breathing in calm, I want you to notice how calm your mind has become. And as you're breathing out, relax. Become aware of how relaxed your body is now. So now just gently stand up and start slowly walking to the edge of the forest. And when you step out of the forest, you step into a bright summer's day. So just stand there a moment and just feel the warmth of the sun on your face. So now just very slowly start to open your eyes and just sit there a moment, just gently bringing yourself back into your room. So that's your exercise for the day. So these practices where you visualize yourself somewhere else are wonderful practices to do. You know, we do get trapped sometimes, or we're in a situation where we don't really know how to handle that situation. So just by stepping away, taking ourselves off to a safe place, using our senses, and then when we come back, we're more relaxed, we're more calm, our mind is open, we're present in the moment, and we can make good, conscious choices. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you. I hope it made sense for you. So remember the gratitude practice, your 3 anchor practices, and this visualization practice. Give them a go, see what works for you. You can change them around, see what works. And I wish you all the best. So thank you. Namaste. If you have any questions, I'll answer them.
Thank you very much, Yashi ji. Anybody would like to share their experience on this platform? How did it feel?
Good question.
May I?
Yeah, please.
I have a question, Yashi, because I have taught that when you were telling us to practice like 1 to 4 or 1 to 5, then breathe in 1 to 5 and breathe in between. When we breathe in 1 to 5 or 1 to 4, shall we stop till 4 or 5 counts before breathing out?
No, then we just breathe in and out. So it's not like a pranayama practice.
Okay.
This is just a mindfulness practice. So, you know, with pranayama, there's many rules and different things, but with mindfulness, it's just about bringing ourselves back into the present moment. So there are less rules. So you just like breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then breathe back out again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's no need to count a pause, just in and out, because then we get a rhythm going. If we paused, it would stop the rhythm. So we just need to get a nice rhythm flowing there.
Okay, and that we can do anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, the good thing about mindfulness practices, they're not set, we have to do them in the morning or the evening. We do them as and when we need them. So whenever you need it, you use it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yashi ji, I want to ask something. This was one of the most beautiful experiences. I have done so many meditation courses, this, that, but the way you walked us through that forest thing was so beautiful. I could feel I'm leaning onto the tree, feel the rustle of the leaves. It was very beautiful. So my question is, the biggest distraction of mindfulness is our this in hand.
Yes, it is.
So even when we go to a forest, our first instinct is to click pictures rather than feel the leaves, rather than sit down on the ground, rather than look at the sky. So many moments are lost because we have a habit of clicking pictures. So the balance to strike that is very difficult. If you have any suggestion, we think that, oh, we will see those pictures later, it's for posterity, but we hardly do. But that moment is lost. So that balance is always very difficult. I consciously try, but still you feel, oh, what if I don't post it to my friends? They will also miss this feeling. So I must share this feeling with them. In that process, I lose my mindfulness feeling. So
so it's true that most people these days, they drive for long distances, you know, to go out into nature. When they get there, they take loads of selfies, get back in the car, come home, and then look at the pictures. But you were there. You were there and it was all around you. There's no need. So what I would say to you is that don't take your phone. Or if you know, if you're going to go into nature, and it's one of the best things for our well-being, for our holistic well-being, the whole well-being is to go into nature. We're animals. We were born to be in nature. We weren't born to drive in cars and fly in planes and live in houses. That's not natural to us. So what is natural is nature. So when you go, don't take the phone. It doesn't matter if your friends don't see it. You know, before we had social media, your friends never saw it. And it's okay if they don't see it now. You know, they'll survive. They can go into their own nature. And actually, you can communicate with them. You can say, this is a great place. It was lovely. This happened to me. And we're social animals. So again, it's much better to talk about it than just, you know, come home, look at the photos and put them on Instagram and WhatsApp and send them all around. So I would suggest you leave the phone and just embrace nature. It's going to make you feel so much better.
Maybe we can sit there and write something which will be very authentic and we can share it later. Sit there in the forest and write what you're feeling.
Yeah, things like that, talking about it, writing it down is much better than a photograph, really. And you know, it's always going to be in your memory, so you're going to keep it. So don't waste the time doing selfies and sending them out.
शैलेश्वर जी, yes, over to you. उसके बाद धीरूबेन जी. हाँ, शैलेश्वर जी, आप unmute हो जाइए, please.
हाँ, हरिओम Yashi ji. It was a really very good session. And when you told me that which is the one thing which you would like to thank, then I had thanked my breath actually. because with breath I am always at the present. I was thinking my breathing. So, but then when you told us for visualization to go in the jungle, so we have never gone to a jungle, and we have always gone to some park or something like that. So when you said you go to a jungle, then I thought that of the movie Jungle Book. So that thing were coming in, then I was getting afraid कि कभी भी वो शेर आ जाएगा तो क्या करेंगे सर?
Yeah.
So that thing was worrying me. So that was
So you need to,
worrying me a lot. So you would have told us to go to a beautiful park,
Remember
or
when
something like that.
when you do these practices, it's your mind. You can dictate if you see a big animal or if you just see a little chipmunk or squirrel or something. So use your imagination, but don't use it too much like that. So that's what I said. When you do this practice, do a place that you've been to yourself, because it's so much easier to visualize it. Yeah.
right.
So,
Dhiruben ji, over to you. Unmute कर लीजिए आप
Very
अपने.
true, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
you're welcome.
Thank
Thank you.
you for this session. It was very, very, very impressive. But I want to ask you that when I do this, my head becomes very heavy, not relaxed. What is the cause?
It's because you're focusing too hard. Relax. So when you do any of these practices, like when you're doing the visualization, don't concentrate too hard. Just relax. If you see it clearly, then good. If you just see like just an impression of it, it's okay. Yeah. And the same with the breathing. Don't over focus. I mean, it's like when people do meditation and they say, "No, I've got a headache," because they're focusing too hard. Relax into it. There's no wrong way of doing these things. In the visualization, whatever you see, you see. There's no right or wrong. So, and the same with the breathing or the other practices, just relax into them. Don't try to, I've got to breathe, or I've got to focus on my body, or I've got to listen to sounds. Relax. The more you relax, the less you're going to get pains in your head.
Thank you.
Question, Dhiruben ji.
Thank
Good
you.
question. Very good question.
Very beautiful session.
Thank you.
Yes. Anyone else? Any other questions?
Yes,
Yes, Mom. Please unmute yourself.
yes, I got a question actually. It's a very nice.
Yeah. Who's that? Who's speaking? 1 minute. Yeah.
May I speak?
1 minute. Somebody was speaking. You speak after them. Who was speaking? Dr. Das, were you speaking?
Yeah, I'm speaking.
Yeah. Dr. Das,
Can I
please
speak?
continue. Yeah, please continue. Please continue. After that, Meera ji will speak. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a very good session, no doubt, actually. And one of the good thing, actually, whatever you told, that is the gratitude. So if anybody is giving you something, a bad thinking or something bad, actually, just try to like it, try to love it, try to accept that thing and never avoid thing. That is the one thing. And the most other example is that breathing exercise and all these things. I fully agree with you, all these things, this breathing exercise, this thing, that thing. But the question is, the moment you practice actually for few minutes, and because throughout the day it is not possible, but when you go to your work, or if you start writing, or you move out, then again those thinkings are coming. So many thinkings are coming into the mind, but again you cannot see it when you are in that type of job, something like that. So in that situation actually, or even say simple thing I will give you. Say you have forgotten to lock your rooftop, then then that
Thoughts, fleeting thoughts. He means to say fleeting thoughts get into the mind when you're not practicing this. So if you
how
could
to
suggest
avoid that thing?
how
Actually,
to avoid these fleeting thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Avoid all these things.
That these are all skills. We've spent the whole of our life not doing these things, so we can't expect that after tonight everything magically changes. I mean, we have to keep doing the practices, but the more that you keep bringing yourself back, the more you keep doing those. And You don't have to do full practices. You see, just by focusing on that, I'm breathing in, I'm holding the breath, I'm breathing out, just that will bring you back into the present moment. So you don't have to do a full practice. So if your mind keeps wandering off, just keep stopping it. So what I would say is the best thing to teach ourselves mindfulness is to put a daily routine and mindfulness together. And what I mean is, say like your phone rings 10 times a day. So when your phone rings, before you answer it, do one of those purposeful breaths. I'm breathing in, I'm holding, I'm breathing out. Now that phone ringing, every time that phone rings, is an opportunity for you to practice mindfulness, to bring yourself back into the present moment. So whatever routines you have, try to marry a routine and a simple mindfulness practice together. So maybe you walk around your house, and every time you walk through a door or twist the door handle or something like that, take a breath as you're walking, bring yourself back. The more you do that, the more it will become natural for you to do that. And the less all these thoughts will come and distract you. But it takes time and it takes practice, but it is completely doable. It's achievable. Just try to think of your daily routines and do a breath every time you do that routine. Over a period of time, mindfulness will become more of a regular practice for you. So less of those thoughts keep distracting us.
Yeah, Mom, over to you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Yashi. Yeah.
Namaskar. Good evening to you. The thing is that when you said about the forest, I remember only Sunday my dad used to take us to nearby forest, and were telling us that this is the name of the tree, that thing, and listen to the chips of the birds and all. Some lot of ants used to climb on the trees and all. That also my dad used to say, listen, where are they going, how they are going up, and what are they collecting, this kind of things. That thing came in my mind. And second one, that after marriage we lived in Nigeria for so many years. So there also we used to go somewhere, we used to park the car, my husband and me and some of our friends, and then we used to go to the forest. Rubber trees were there, a lot of thick wood trees were there.
So you
So
basically you
very nice.
relived
Those-
this
yeah.
practice, you relived your memories.
Yes, that is
Good.
true.
That's
And
nice.
moreover, BBC Earth,
Yeah.
always I watch
Yeah.
BBC
Yeah.
Earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lovely. I mean, that BBC Earth, as if I'm also going in the same forest. I feel like that. So this is the thing which I want to share with you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you know, the same with my family. When I was young, then of course we didn't have phones and things like that. So every Sunday we would go out somewhere, a forest or a park or somewhere, and they would always show us different birds, different
Yeah.
flowers, different
Yes.
things. And of
Yes.
course, when you were a kid, it was a little bit boring. But actually now you look back and you think, oh, I should have paid more attention to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we seem to have lost that way of life. It's so fast life is now. So, you know, we can't stop life being fast, but we can stop ourselves. We can slow ourselves down. And I think that's what we need to be doing. Just slowing ourselves down a little bit. Let the world rush past. It's okay. Doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
particularly, you know, now we're all reaching a certain age that it's good just to sit back and let everybody else run around and you just sit quietly. It's so much nicer.
Yeah. So Swati, over to you.
Yes, yes. So if everyone is clear with their doubts, shall I express my vote of thanks to Yashi ji for this topic? I know irrespective of the age, the biggest challenge today is being in the present. So you have nailed it. It's difficult to practice when we are in our chaotic schedule with deadlines and in work conditions. I know it's easy doing at home in a quiet environment, but when we go out in the chaotic world, it becomes difficult. But certainly with practice, we can make it. So
Yes.
on behalf of this group, our hand in hand group, I express my sincere, heartfelt thanks to Yashiji for addressing us. And I'm sure all of us have taken something or other from this session today. So we wish you visit us again and speak to us again sometimes. Thanks once
Yes,
again.
definitely.
And thank you, Sagarika, also for exposing us to Yashiji.
Yes,
And
thank
Yashi.
you very much, Yashiji, for accepting our invitation once again. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you.
So
He wants to hear you again.
Everyone wants to hear you once again.
Once again, yeah.
okay,
And
we'll
we want
arrange that.
to give you the feedback, how far we have progressed or been successful.
Yeah, yeah. Well, keep that excitement going, okay?
Oh, sure. Thank you.
And I'll definitely come back another time.
Sure. Thank
So
you.
thank you very much.
Thank you
That was
very
Thank you,
much.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Again
Thank
next
you.
Tuesday.
Bye. Good night.
Until
Very
next Tuesday. Until next
next-
Tuesday.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye for
Yeah,
now.
it was a nice session. It was a nice session.
Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
नेक्स्ट सेशन एक टोटली डिफरेंट सेशन रहेगा, इससे एकदम डायमेट्रिकली ऑपोजिट. We'll have lot of humor. Okay.
Okay.
So it's going to be each one telling a humorous incident, a joke, the way you want it. तो सबको एक एक याद करके आना है और सब अपने अपने लाइफ के कोई ह्यूमरस इंसिडेंट बताएंगे या फिर कोई जोक बताएंगे, जो भी. But it is going to be पूरा हास्य कवि सम्मेलन for hand in hand. Okay?
Wonderful.
So we'll do something like that next
It would be nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
and happy Sankrant in the meantime.
Sankrant.
Sankrant, yes. Lodi
Thank you.
है, संक्रांति है, बहुत कुछ है और मधुमिता का बर्थडे भी है 14 तारीख.
When? Oh, okay.
Oh.
Wish you-
Happy birthday. Advance me happy birthday.
Yes.
so much.
Happy birthday in advance.
Happy
So then
birthday.
we'll meet again next Tuesday. She will be sharing her plan with all of you and we'll take it ahead from there. Thank you once again, everyone, for
Thank you.
making this. We really like it that when we bring people, there are so many of you all and it motivates us to do much more. And I think we have done much better than Swati and Madhumita. We didn't expect it to come this long, but I think we're doing good.
बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा.
ऐसे कहाँ से कोई आ जाता है.
हाँ. I'm working for a 2-year-old to come and entertain us. 2-year-old only. मेरी बातचीत चालू है. You will see how that 2-year-old can really entertain us. मेरी बातचीत चालू है because they don't want to expose that child to public. But I'm just trying. मैं बात कर रही हूँ उनके साथ. She's a Limca Book of Awardee child. Limca Book of Award. I'm talking to the family. The moment she agrees, उसको थोड़ा भी बुखार भी है. The moment she agrees, I will just get her here, and you will see how a 2-year-old can amuse us.
Wow.
ओहो.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
बहुत अच्छा, आप एक एक अच्छे लोगों को ला रहे हैं. बहुत अच्छा दिखा रहे हैं.
कोशिश हमारी यही है. बस
ये
हम
सच
जुड़े रहें.
में बहुत ज्यादा आप कर भी रहे हो. बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं आप.
Very well done. Very well organized.
बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा,
Thank
बहुत
you.
अच्छा.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
शुभ रात्रि, गुड नाइट. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, धन्यवाद.
हाँ जी.
शब्बा खैर.
शब्बा खैर.